Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video, which is getting ready, of course, because that's what I have to do. It's early in the morning. Let's just check the time. It's 4:40 in the morning. I'm here with the mother of all coffees because I have to, because yeah. And I want to go and play with some makeup that I have actually not used that much, which is such a shame, you know. So I dug out this palette, which I got in August for my birthday from my sister. And this is from OPV. This is the OPV Beauty. This is the Tropical Dreams palette that I actually asked her for. You know, when she had asked me, what do you want for your birthday? I said, please, please, please. This palette just had been released or sneak peeked. I'm not sure. I fell so hard for this palette that, you know, that I needed it, that I wanted it, and yeah. So anyway, she ordered it for me. I got it. I did a first impression with the palette, of course, and then I used it maybe twice off camera, and that was it. And then I thought, come on girl, why? You know, this palette is so lovely, and actually this has so much potential even for the neutral looks that are like super classy, like with this very cold brown down here, and then with this corresponding very cold, I don't know if it comes across, a very cold shimmer. I think this actually really speaks to me to do a cold brown, very classy look. Yeah, I don't know. What is it with me? Am I losing it? Am I losing my Leorah-ness? Anyway, but not today. Not today. We're not losing anything. Today I'm gonna go and use this green and this green, which is probably the darkest green that I do have in my collection. And I also want to use those blue shimmers that have I used those already? I don't think so. I have not used those, and I also have not used this one, and I want to use those on the lid. So let's do that. Let's do a green crease. That is hard to say. A green crease and then blue and gold on the lid. I think that would be really nice. So let's just go ahead, zoom in and do that. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm so stained here under my lower lash line because I was wearing yesterday, I did do a very purple, very deep look, and yeah, it really stained me. So anyway, it doesn't matter. It's like, it looks like I've cried all night, but I didn't. Seriously not. Okay, so let's just pick up this green here, and that's going to be probably something like a transition shade. And this, the pickup is something else. So let's just do that. And then deepen it up with the dark green. So I really don't want this to make, oh look at this. This almost looks neon. It's a hard word for me to say, yeah, like so many other ones. Okay, so this almost looks neon. Amazing. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to use palettes in order to like find out the most complicated look with it. This is actually how I used to approach my makeup here till like maybe 2 weeks ago when I'm filming this. So, and at some point I asked myself, why are you doing this? You know, you're just doing this because people expect you to be like super extra or something. Like, why are you doing this to yourself if you really in your heart of hearts just want to flow with it? You know, look at the palette, pick out a couple of shades and make it work and just play, you know. That is really what I've sort of maybe lost a little bit for myself. I don't think it has affected me in like what I'm showing on my channel so much. It was more like that I was starting to look at my eyeshadow palettes and at my whatever I have, and always think what can be the most spectacular in order to please, you know, for my photo shoots and for everything. And then I thought, no, let's just bring the joy back, you know, and just turn off the head a little bit. So not that I didn't enjoy it before, but I just did not feel it as much because I was thinking too much, something like that. Anyway, so I'm gonna do the other side and then we're gonna go on and move to the next step. Okay, so this is how it looks so far, and I actually want to probably build up the intensity a little bit more once I have placed down that dark green. But for now, this is okay, and actually these shadows are extremely buildable. And you know what? Now that I'm doing it the other way, I'm starting with the lighter shade and sort of using in some weird way transition shades, I can actually form a much better opinion on brands if their shadows are buildable. You know, I never really had that because I was always packing them on so tight and so much that of course, like what else would I do, right? For me was more the issue, are they blendable into nothing from this super strong state of being so hard pressed into my crease, you know? And that is really, yeah, it's asking a lot of some powders in a palette. But anyway, so this is what I'm enjoying right now, so that's what I'm doing. And now we're gonna go in with this shade here, which is called Fifi. And I'm going to take it on a bit of a fluffy but a little bit more like a flat kind of a brush, and I want to put it just right here and a tiny little bit into the crease, because I want to use 3 shimmers on my lid, so I don't want this to take up that much space. So I'm just working it a tiny little bit, like 1/3 maybe into the crease and a little bit in the outer corner here, and that is really it. Just to deepen up the outer corner, because I always think that that is super flattering, and that's why I'm doing it. Okay, now that I've placed the shadow, I'm just going to try to sheer it out a tiny little bit and blend it into the mid-tone green. Which shade was that? Aleco. And I'm gonna do that on both sides, and then actually I'm gonna go in with that first brush again, and I'm going to, that first fluffy brush, and I'm going to pick up that first green, and I'm just going to try to press it on instead of, you know, sweeping it on, because that always gives you more color impact. Now with a brush like this, which is not a, it's a blending brush, it's a very fluffy blending brush and not a packing brush, but still I always feel like even if I do like very short stamping motions, barely touching my skin, I feel that this really helps. So, but that, you know, I think it also depends on probably the eye space that you have and all kinds of things. So for me this works, but I do have quite a bit of canvas here, but if you don't, then you obviously have to use maybe smaller brushes. Anyway, so I'm just stamping this here basically over the edge between the mid-tone green and the darker green. And now basically I'm just going to go back and forth between those two greens till I'm happy with the blend right here. So that's going to take me a couple of minutes, but once I'm done, then we're going to go in with the shimmers. Okay, so I think it's time to put the shimmers on, and now I actually want to do something that is maybe a little bit less traditional, because usually I would probably put on the gold in the inner corner or like the inner part of the lid and then blend it into the blue, and then it meets the green here. But what I want to do today is actually that I start with the light blue, I'll blend it into the gold, I'll blend that into the darker blue, and then it meets the dark green. I hope I do have enough space. Let's see. Let's start with that light blue. I just thought that you know, it might be fun. It's sort of a spin-off of a halo eye, but not quite, because it obviously is a smoky eye. So I don't know. I hope I will not ask myself what were you thinking. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today, and I'm trying to keep this small. We'll see. We'll see if I can do this. Alright, so now I'm just packing on that first light blue, which is called Palawan, I think. And I think I'm gonna just keep it like really small and right there. And then, wait, let's move on to the next color, which is the gold, which is called Bahamas. I don't know how to pronounce all of these things in English, seriously. So I feel like such an idiot sometimes, because really I don't know. I could pronounce it in German and that, you know, everybody would be laughing at me. So I'd rather you laugh at me for not knowing how to say it in English. All right, so now we're just putting a thin sliver of Bahamas right here next to the light blue. And I'm always dragging it up also a little bit, or pushing it up into the crease, just for shearing it out, because this is of course not a half cut crease or whatever. It can be flowy, it can be, you know, it can be. All right, so wait, the other side I'm gonna do off camera, of course, in order to save time. And let me just find one more packing brush. And now I'm gonna go in with this shade right here, which is called Kawaii. Yeah. All right, let's just spray this too. And then this actually looks now way more like, on the brush, it looks way more like turquoise now. That is actually a very, very cool color. I didn't see that one coming, honestly. So wait, let's just pack this on a little bit more. Oh, this actually blends really nice into the green. It feels though a little bit thinner than the other two. I think this one needs a little bit more building up. It also picked up a little bit slower on the brush, but now that I sort of have the first layer of the shade, oh man, it's getting better. So let's just put this on here. You know what? It's also maybe because I have of course green now underneath, and that's why maybe also the shades look a little bit different, like less blue. They are looking a little bit more like they all have a green undertone, which is actually cool. I don't mind that at all, you know? Yeah, so I'm gonna blend this nicely and I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so this is how it looks now. I must say that it is a challenge to put 3 different shimmers on such a small surface. Seriously, Leorah, what were you thinking? But I think it is nice. It is nice, and I do like this effect that the gold has in the middle, because it is unexpected. It is something else, you know, a little bit extra. I like that. Okay, so let me just finish my foundation and all of that, and then we're gonna work together on the lower lash line. Okay, sweeties, we're back. And now actually we want to put something under the lower lash line. I did put a light blue on my waterline, a light blue pencil. This one is from Pupa. It's the number 14. They have no name, so it's the number 14 from Pupa Milano. And I think actually that I want to use this dark blue here. It is a very, very, very nice blue, and I don't think I've used it. Besides digging my nail in it, there is no imprint of anything in this shade. So let's do that. And then, I don't know, am I a bit scared, because that is a very, very dark shade. So wait, let's maybe put down something on, like let's put something down before we go in with the blue. Let's maybe use that green, that Aleco green, this one right here, and just maybe sweep that on with something. Ow. All right, let's find a brush, and I'm just going to try, and the pickup from the pan on the brush is insane, so I'm gonna try to just dab this off and just run this a little bit under here, just to, I don't know, to feel a little bit more safe about my choices, and then we'll pack the blue on top of it. Let's just try that. I think then maybe the blending is going to be a little bit easier, so let's hope for the best. All right, something like that. Maybe I should have a bit of a smaller brush that gets me a little bit more into the corner. Wow, the pickup on the brushes is like, it's insane. I've got to be really, really careful, because I don't want the focus of the look to be under the lower lash line. That is just not what I want to do today. So, all right, something like that, little blurred out, and let me just see, something like that, yeah. Okay, so now let's go in and face it. Whew. Okay. I'm going to just sort of stamp this under the light blue of the waterline and sort of just drag this around, and then I'm going to blend it into the green a little bit. What are we thinking? Is this going to be good? All right, so I'm just going to try to drag this down into the green and blur it out a little bit. I don't know yet if we're actually gonna lose the blue, you know, if that's still gonna be obvious that it's a blue, but we'll see. Let me just work on that a little bit and also find something for my lips, and in a second I'll be back with the finished look. Okay, my lovelies, welcome to the finished look, which is, I think, really, really nice. I so enjoy doing just that, you know, digging out something, and I just as much enjoy working with new stuff, really. It's not that I'm going into this whole thing that everybody does now, you know, we have to like limit ourselves to the way it hurts, to the point it hurts. I don't like that. I like, for myself, everybody can do whatever they want. For myself, I like to have everything. I like to have my old stuff. I like to have my new stuff. I'm so excited about new stuff like you wouldn't believe. But just as much, I really, really love to just take the stuff that I have and put it in front of me and not think and just do, you know? So, and that's the result. So let's just zoom in a tiny bit. All right, so that's the result, and I'm super, super happy with it. And you know what? Besides the palette, and I'm going to talk about the palette, of course, in a second. Besides the eye look, I'm also getting more into like more bright colors for my lips and like a little bit more adventurous, and I'm actually really, really enjoying this because I never thought that I could. You know, in the beginning of my channel, I was so dead set on never featuring any lip product because it was absolutely not important to me, and now I'm getting there. And you know, I feel like it is actually a nice feature on me, and now that I also know how to handle my lips, because my upper lip is quite a bit smaller really than my lower lip, and I know how to sort of cancel that out a little bit with using lip liner and just overdrawing just a tiny little bit. That really, really helps. It makes me feel really pretty, so I really like that. Anyway, now let's talk about the palette. I did have a lot of fallout, also in the mattes and also in the shimmers, which I personally do not care, absolutely not care, because obviously I'm not doing my foundation first. I don't know how it would be if I would do my foundation first, because you know, the shimmers were a little bit crumbly, but not bad. Not in a bad way. They performed best when I packed them on after the fact, after I had put them on already with the brush. I think they worked much better with using my finger and just pressing them on. But then again, every shimmer does that. Every shimmer, as far as I know, performs better like that. So besides that, the pigmentation is insane. Absolutely insane. I love it to bits. I'm not a person that is scared of pigmentation. I'm not a person that is concerned about having too much color in her face, obviously. So that's why that absolutely works for me. And I of course also work with an unset eyeshadow base. So if you are a little bit concerned that it might be too much and get too strong too fast, then just set your eyeshadow base and then just sweep it on, because you can totally build them up. It's absolutely possible because they are super buildable, and the pigmentation is, like I said, really, really good. So I absolutely do enjoy this palette. I'm so glad that I got it, because I really do feel like the color scheme is special. It is special, and it absolutely vibes with me that this is called Tropical Dreams. Absolutely. And that is really, I remember when they showed that, like when they sneak peeked it or whatever, this palette, I remember talking about it in my new makeup releases video in that week, and it was absolutely one of my favorites of the week, because I feel that this is a super beautiful palette. Also the outer packaging, it's a nice cardboard packaging. For me, this is also a very nice size for a palette. You know, how many shades are in there? Let's just count this. This is 6, 12, 18 shades. I think that is really nice. For me, that is not too much. That's like this and up, you know, this is how I vibe. And
yeah, also the design, I mean, it's a little bit stained by foundation and everything because that's how I work, but the whole design and the artwork is really, really nice. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled. I created, I think it's now maybe my 4th or 5th look. I'm not 100% sure, but if you do follow me on my social media, you will have seen all the looks that I've created because I take pictures, or we're doing photo shoots of every single eye look that I'm doing, or every single makeup look that I'm doing. So feel free to follow me on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever you have, because there you see everything. You know. All right, you'll find of course all the contacts for my social media also in the description box down below, as well as you'll find everything else that I used, because I really just wanted to feature the palette because that's my biggest passion of all times, palette. Yeah. All right, so that was it. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think. And yeah, do you like the look? Do you like the look? Do you have the palette? What is your experience with OPV Beauty? I have another palette, which is the Rainbow Splash palette that I've also already featured on my channel, and that I also really, really like. So this is basically, I got them more or less at the same time. So this is my second item that I have from OPV Beauty, and so far I really, really like it. So that is what I had to say, and I want you to please come back next time for my next video. If you're new here, then please subscribe to my channel, and other than that, just go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.